This house was built in 1918, and the old man had said, "This will always be a house. We will never sell out to the corporations, and this entire town will be built around this house." And after they moved out, they started to sublet parts, and in 2014, I had been looking at this place for years, and I kept wanting it, and finally it became available. And now I do all my cases from here. This is now the office, the main office for Global Pursuit, and it works perfectly. And this is the perfect private detective office, perfect for me to work out of. And this is Global Pursuit Investigations, and this is our main office, and this is my story. My name is Logan Clarke. So this case is this was a lot of fun. A woman contacted us who had a home in Beverly Hills, but she was from Texas, and she had several ranches in Texas, and she was extremely wealthy. And she had a home in Beverly Hills, and her son was 16 years old. And that weekend that we went over, she had just bought him a Lamborghini for his 16th birthday. And I think he had his learner's permit. Anyway, she had a relationship with this old Hollywood Western television star. And this is a guy who was a big star in the time when Gunsmoke, Bonanza, The Rifleman, The Big Valley, all of those westerns were running. And he was a big star then. She had met him in the 80s, and he had an acting school, which is what a lot of these guys do. They come from television. Their career ends. So he had an acting school where she met him somehow, and that was in Canada, but she had met him here. And she had a relationship with him, I guess, for a year and a half. And he had talked her into doing a business investment, a financial investment, into a project with him that was going to make her even tons more money, as if she needed more money. And he also made the mistake of sleeping with her. He then began a relationship of sleeping with her. So now he is, she's investing with him, she's sleeping with him, and he tells her that he's dying of cancer. And she takes him to, periodically, she's telling me this story, she takes him to a hospital near Beverly Hills. And he goes in, she doesn't go in with him, and he does whatever he's doing for his cancer and comes out. And usually con men use something like this for a sympathy. They want to get sympathy. And because when the con comes to an end and the person realizes they've been conned, the con person hopes that, well, maybe if I'm dying of cancer, they're not going to report me or not going to come after me. They convince themselves of this. So sympathy is very typical that they use. And he started this, early in the relationship and kept it going, which is good for his con. Obviously, he screwed her. He took her money and said that it was all lost and the investment didn't go right. And when somebody invests money, con men a lot of times try to get someone to sign a contract and actually invest in something, because then you can't go after them for stealing your money. It's a business investment and it's a civil lawsuit now, and the police very quickly tell you that's a civil matter, it's not a criminal matter, unless they can form a pattern of behavior of someone who continually cons different women. So this woman is one of the richest women in the country, who he conned for maybe $1 million, $2 million, $3 million. He conned her out of, which is pocket change for her. So I had always said, like the old saying, hell hath no fury like that of a woman scorned. Well, if you add to that woman is one of the richest women in the world, you're in a lot of trouble, because she can afford to hire somebody like me to come after you. So the problem then was, this old movie actor, so he doesn't have the money anymore, right? He's lost it all. They lost all the money. He doesn't have the money to repay her that. Well, we know that's a lie. We know that it's a scam, that he's got the money, he's got to have assets wherever they put them. So our job is to find those assets before we come down on him. Actually learn what those assets are and where they are. So he lived in a condominium near Beverly Hills. And we checked and there was an apartment available. So I put a female undercover agent in that building, in that apartment, renting that apartment. And she was beautiful, looked great in a bikini, which is exactly what I wanted, because this guy hung out at the pool. We did surveillance there before. We knew what he was doing. So I set this beautiful girl in there, and she's not with any other man. And of course he's going to go after her. Of course he is. And he's going to try to hustle her. And we had a backstory for her that, that she had money, so that would attract him. And she was wealthy and potentially another mark for him. So as they started to be friends and everything, he started inviting her. Oh, well, come with me and let's go. We'll have a picnic. And nothing sexual. I tell my agents, don't you dare sleep with the guy, because then he's gotten what he wants, and he's gone. And unless he's gonna con you for money, which we weren't setting up that kind of an undercover. So she goes and she, goes to lunch with him, and then he takes her on a picnic. She goes on a picnic, and pretty soon he says, you want to go for a helicopter ride? So he takes her to the airport and shows her his helicopter, which gives her a chance in going for a ride in the helicopter. She's able to pull out the vehicle registration, get the VIN number, get the side numbers, everything off of them. And we did this continually for probably 3 weeks. We found his Ferrari in someone else's name, but that was his Ferrari. And we found property that he owned. We found foreign property that he owned. And this was all with her being friends with him, being in the apartment, being able to go through stuff when he's not there. It's a long, detailed, to explain how somebody does this. And it's not really good to explain all the details anyway, because then it's like a how-to. But anyway, there are various ways that we do this during a period of 2 or 3 weeks. When you're becoming friends with somebody, you get a chance to dig more and more. And he's trying to impress her. And the only way he can impress her is to show her that he does not need her money. He has lots of money. And she would be lucky to invest with him. So we were able to find all of his assets. Then she was able to attach those, freeze them, do a lawsuit, and he settled and I wound up driving his Ferrari for about a week. But we got everything back for her. The money that she lost, I think she was $300,000 short, but we got her back about $800,000 or $900,000. Good case.